We have even more title changes, and we will be previewing the first pay per view of the year, All Elite Wrestling, AEW Revolution. The first AEW pay per view of the year is coming up. We're going to check out the big matches on that card and talk about these title changes, man. I got one, two, three, four, five different title changes. Some in WWE, some in NXT, some in New Japan, some in CMLL. So let's get into it, man. Welcome back to the Wrestling is Bullshit podcast. All right, to start us off here, we have Penta defeating Dirty Dominic Mysterio on Monday Night Raw for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta is now the Intercontinental Champion. Finally, it was time to do this. It would have been nice if they put some momentum on the title before giving it to Penta. Penta has some work to do with the Intercontinental Championship, as it has been ice cold since Dirty Dominic Mysterio won it from John Cena back in late November of 2025. We're now in March. Time flies, and we haven't seen anything of the Intercontinental title besides Dom just kind of holding it in backstage segments. Penta has some work to do. We've seen this Intercontinental Championship mean something for a very long time, consistently, from the likes of Gunta holding it for over 600 days to the likes of even Dirty Dominic Mysterio making it mean something in the earlier half of 2025. Even the shock win John Cena becoming a Intercontinental Champion by defeating Dominic Mysterio. We've seen this title have its highs. We want to see Penta reach the highest of highs in WWE, and we hope for the best here. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then we go on to AEW Dynamite, where we were actually able to see the Don Callis family, Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis, defeat Adam Page and Jet Speed for the AEW World Trios Championship. Here we are, with the Don Callis family having even more gold. As long as they go ahead and give us some good AEW World Trios Championship matches on Dynamite and Collision, I'm cool with the Don Callis family holding the belts here. Looks like Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis have their work cut out for them, and it'll be a fun time. The trios titles are just meant to be good fun over there at AEW, so it'll be all right. I think Hangman and Jet Speed really did a good job of keeping those titles somewhat relevant while they held them for a little over a month, if I'm not mistaken. New Japan Pro Wrestling saw Unbound Company, specifically Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori, win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship as well this week. Okay. And then we go over to SmackDown, where we had the biggest thing, I would say, definitely the biggest thing to happen this week in the world of wrestling took place on SmackDown, right? Cody Rhodes regaining the undisputed WWE Championship by defeating Drew McIntyre. And boy, I put out a comment, I put out a thread that said, I can't wait for that Drew Galloway AEW World Championship reign. And I stand on that. Like that is going to be awesome. That is going to be fantastic, because ain't no way Drew McIntyre is staying in WWE after this shit, right? He has taken the short end of the stick for years at this point. Let's go back to November 2024, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 24 or 23? Oh my gosh, if it was 2023, then that's even crazier. It was the night that CM Punk returned to WWE, right? It was Survivor Series, War Games, and you had the clip of Seth Rollins wanting to go up to the stage and kick his ass going viral. You had reports of Drew McIntyre furiously exiting the building after the show was done, all with the arrival of CM Punk. And here's the thing, right? Like with the Seth Rollins thing, it's more than clear now that we are almost 3 years removed, 2 years and some change. It's clear that Seth Rollins had the intention of telling a story. Okay. we truly don't know how much Seth Rollins and CM Punk truly hate each other. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't hate each other at all. They told a story. They made the fans want to see Seth Rollins versus CM Punk more than the fans wanted to see it initially. And we wanted to see that a lot. Kudos to WWE for using unique ways in this modern age of wrestling to make Seth Rollins versus CM Punk a generational feud. I think when it's all said and done, we'll remember Seth Rollins versus CM Punk as a generational feud. We're right in the middle of it, so it maybe doesn't feel like that right now, but it'll get there. It'll get there. Ultimately, what I'm trying to get at here is I remember the reports of Drew McIntyre furiously leaving Survivor Series War Games with the arrival of CM Punk in late 2023. And here we are, early 2026. And what has happened to Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40 in early 2024, only to have Damian Priest cash in his Money in the Bank contract to take that World Heavyweight Championship from him. And then Drew McIntyre entered what was a very freaking entertaining feud against CM Punk to come up short in that feud. Understandably so, because they had big plans for CM Punk, who is now the current World Heavyweight Champion. Sure, fine. And then what happened with Drew McIntyre? You know, he gets caught up in the wayside for a while. He finally wins the World Heavyweight Championship in early 2026 after having a nice, long, and dragged out feud with Cody Rhodes in the second half of 2025. And they completely just start booking him like a complete bitch. That's not a word I like to use on this podcast. That's not a word I like to use in life. Nonetheless, I mean, goodness gracious, you got these stupid freaking storylines, these MAGA storylines that WWE is trying to push down our throats with the toxic masculinity Kit Wilson bullshit, and then with Drew McIntyre, the toxic work environment shit. Look, man, I'm not trying to get political with this. I'm just trying to call a spade, okay? They screwed over Drew McIntyre, even when they gave him his flowers and let him hold the undisputed WWE Championship for a little bit before WrestleMania. They booked him to look like a complete bitch. All right? They booked him to look like a bitch against Cody, and they booked him to look like a bitch champion when he was champion. I'm not even mad that Cody Rhodes regained the undisputed WWE title. I'm excited for Cody versus Randy at WrestleMania. But did we have to make Drew McIntyre look like a complete bitch? That is a guy that freaking deserves more. He's going to go across the pond to AEW, take a shit ton of money, and get what he deserves, which is a freaking fantastic AEW World Championship reign with good booking and good matches. It's a complicated space that I'm in with this stuff right now with Cody Rhodes and the SmackDown World Championship picture, the undisputed WWE Championship picture, right? I don't dislike Cody. I don't mind him holding the undisputed WWE Championship. With that being said, if you're tired of Cody at this point, you know, I get it. It's been a couple years. It's been a couple years since he finished the story. Or we're coming up on 2 years. You know, you're asking a lot of these WWE fans if you expect them to still be invested after 2 years of Cody Rhodes holding the undisputed WWE Championship. You just are. Okay? You're not asking a lot of me. I'm still enjoying myself. I'm just upset with the way Drew McIntyre has been booked. This feud against Cody Rhodes was Drew McIntyre's opportunity to shine. Not saying he had to win the feud, not saying he even had to win the undisputed WWE Championship, because he didn't. But his character's been consistent for years. He's a formidable heel. Even when he was a babyface, it was almost the same character that he is as a heel, right? He's got a good backstory. The crowd knows him. The crowd loves him. And right when he has his crowning moment as undisputed WWE champion, you just make a bitch out of him. Why? It's not good for Drew. It's not good for the story. It's not good for the product. Thus, it's not good for the company. And I'm going to comment on the only thing that TKO and WWE care about right now. It's not good for the money. Petty. Petty. Nonetheless, okay, like it's really hard, and I'm not trying to give y'all whiplash while you listen to this episode. I am very pissed off with the way that they treated Drew McIntyre. Okay, I really am. That doesn't mean I'm not excited for Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I am. I want to see what they do with this story. These promos on Friday nights are going to be great. All right, they're going to be good, and the possibilities are endless with what we can do with this. Right? Of course, I'll tell you right now. I'll lay it out all on the table. I want to see Cody Rhodes retain, and I want to see Cody Rhodes turn heel. You have that spot from WrestleMania 41 where Cody Rhodes was defending the undisputed WWE Championship against a recently heel turned John Cena. Right. And you have this moment where Cody Rhodes has the opportunity to hit John Cena with the championship when the ref is unable to see it and then get the 3 count. Cody's hesitant and he ultimately doesn't do it. And he says, I can't. Right? You guys remember that moment? I'm sure you do. I say we play on that the very next year, right? Here we are, WrestleMania 42, a whole calendar year later. Cody Rhodes still has the undisputed WWE Championship. He's not facing heel John Cena. Now he's facing his mentor, Randy Orton. And he has this moment come across again where the ref is down. He has the title in his hands, and he has the opportunity to crack the title against the skull of Randy Orton and pin him with the 3 count, retain, and win, and turn heel in the process. And I think in that moment, if we were to see Cody Rhodes do that, turn heel, becoming the American nightmare that he was always meant to be at a time when life is a nightmare for Americans. Do I dare say that? I'm not even going to touch on that. We're America, is the United States of America, are the heels. Okay? If you think we're the good guys at this point, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Okay? I love you. You're wrong. Yeah, I think that would be cinema. And I think heel Cody Rhodes would be fantastic for 2026. And I'm excited to see the potential of that happening. I'm excited to see if that happens or not at WrestleMania. Okay? I really am. So don't get it twisted. I may be pissed off about the way WWE handled Drew McIntyre, but I am excited to see what they do with Cody Rhodes. It's a shame. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's a shame that Drew McIntyre did not truly get his flowers, and it seems like all this was for nothing, and it deteriorated the momentum of the undisputed WWE Championship that's been building for years. Yeah, it has. But I'm excited to see what the future holds, because let me take you a step even further, bro. Let's say we get heel Cody retaining the undisputed WWE Championship at the main event of Saturday's WrestleMania. We go into Sunday's WrestleMania, we get Roman Reigns winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And a year in advance, we build and we book Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns 3. Both titles on the line. Undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That'd be fantastic, dude. That's a huge match right there. That's huge. That's the best thing that WWE's got going right now. And I think the timing is perfect, right? Not only the timing for turning Cody heel, but also the timing for Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes 3, as well as the timing for unifying the undisputed WWE title and the World Heavyweight title. Is it too soon? When is it not? They always unify the titles when it's too soon, or bring it or split them back up when it's too soon. Okay, I'm them. It wouldn't bother me if that happened. It'd be cool. We'll see. We got 2 more title changes to talk about. Then we got some news. Then we got the watch list, and then we got the top 20 champions of wrestling. So let's keep the momentum going, and let's get it. Let's talk about Persephone, who was able to regain the CMLL World Women's Championship against Mercedes Moné this week. And we also have at NXT, Tatum Paxley was able to defeat Izzy Dame for the Women's North American Championship at NXT Vengeance Day. What was a solid show? What was a solid show? Good card, 5-match card, great matches. Good on NXT, right? Um, yeah, it's been a busy week, and it will be a busy week this upcoming week, especially with AEW Revolution happening this upcoming Sunday. 7 days at the time of this recording. In 7 days. All right, we got 2 bits of news before we get into the watch list here. Okay, so we got the Dogs, right? Formerly known as the Bullet Club War Dogs in New Japan Pro Wrestling, now just going by the Dogs. They're all elite, right? So we have been seeing Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors on AEW programming, and we see David Finlay join them, making his AEW debut as an AEW superstar. Wrestler, sorry, AEW superstar. Yeah, it seems like they are going off the same vibe that the Dogs were using in New Japan when they were a part of Bullet Club. And here's where this episode is going to get a little wacky again, right? I feel like I wasn't afraid to fly off the handle when talking about Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And here's where I'm going to get a little fantasy bookie with AEW and the concept of Bullet Club. You got all these guys coming in that were a part of Bullet Club. You're keeping them with Bullet Club, whether it's Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, the Guns. And now with the Dogs, you got Bullet Club vibes. I'll tell you what, man, I don't know when Finn Balor's contract is up, but if AEW were to sign Prince Devitt, who goes by Finn Balor in WWE right now, the original leader of the Bullet Club, if that were to happen, what do they say about the Bullet Club? They say the Bullet Club is for life. What if we see Prince Devitt, whether it's in 2027 or 2028, make his AEW debut and reestablish the Bullet Club? Anybody that was in the Bullet Club now returns as a member of the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks, Bullet Club Gold, the Dogs, Kenny Omega, all a part of the Bullet Club. Whoever else is on the roster that was a part of the Bullet Club. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Dude, I completely trust AEW to book that well and make that fun. I really do. You got to understand, 2027 to 2028, there will be nothing left for Kenny Omega to do. There will be nothing left for the Young Bucks to do. It will be a great move. I'm not saying do this anytime soon. Let me be very clear. It'll be a great move. Okay? You have Prince Devitt make his AEW debut alongside the re-emergence of the Bullet Club. Book it. AEW has had enough successes and learned from enough mistakes over the past several years, and they have my full faith in booking this crazy storyline well. They really do. I really hope it happens. I really do. I will get hype as hell if this happens. And hopefully some of y'all out there agree with me. You got to understand. I know this is bold. I understand if you are not with me on this. Okay? I get it. But I'm with this, and I hope it happens. Obviously not this year, whenever Finn Balor's contract is up. Because that's another dude that they haven't treated well at all. Finn Balor, right? The main thing about WWE right now is they definitely have their guys that they trust, and they're going to keep those guys in the limelight no matter what. Right? Look at what's happening with LA Knight. Got over with the crowd organically. What has he done? Almost nothing, okay? He had a United States Championship reign, and now he's kind of been food for whoever else they're trying to get over. Same thing with Drew McIntyre. They've pushed him the minimum amount. They've pushed him the required amount. Okay, Drew McIntyre is a star. He's been over for years. He's been a great wrestler, great promo, great character, all of it, right? And he's just not one of their guys. That's what I'm getting at here. He's not one of their guys, and that's why he's seen mediocre booking in the minds of a lot of fans, including myself. These guys got to get their asses over to AEW like Tommaso Ciampa did, because AEW is not going to hold them back. Okay, unfortunately, WWE, yeah, they like what they like. They like to book what they like to book. Okay, they do their thing. They do their thing. I'm not saying that the stories they tell are bad per se, except for the ones that actually are terrible that I commented on earlier. I'm just saying I look forward to Drew Galloway in AEW, and I look forward to the reemergence of Bullet Club in AEW when Prince Devitt makes his AEW debut, whenever that is. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you work for WWE at any capacity, mark my words, you start treating those superstars well. You start treating Finn Balor well, book him to get some damn wins. You start treating Drew McIntyre like the star that he is. Because if you don't, AEW is just going to benefit from your petty ass mistakes. All right. Anywho, let's move on. Last bit of news here before we get into the watch list. Road Dogg, member of WWE Creative, has left WWE. Now, Road Dogg is a guy that was WWE through and through. And to see him abruptly leave WWE just before WrestleMania is interesting. I don't know what to think of this, okay? And I don't want to be too bold and too unrealistic because I've been bold and unrealistic enough in this episode. Let me dream, though. That's what pro wrestling is all about. I'll stand on that. But ultimately, look, this is not a neutral thing. Road Dogg has been a big part of WWE's creative. And while WWE's creative has been a bit middling for the past year and some change, maybe less, maybe more, Road Dogg has had a big part in that, the successes and the failures. And to be honest, we don't really know if he was helping creative or hindering creative. If I had to flip a coin and guess, I would say that he's helping, right? But we don't know. So what I'm trying to say as a person that doesn't know shit is there's going to be an effect. Road Dogg's absence is going to be felt creatively in the WWE product. That much I do know. And we'll see what that looks like. We'll see if that makes the product better, or we'll see if that makes the product worse. Only one way to find out. But definitely an interesting bit of news for sure. All right, let's get into the watch list. Let's get into the top 20 champions of wrestling. The watch list has 3 shows on it this week. 2 of the 3 shows are AEW shows. So I will get the non-AEW show out first. On Saturday, streaming on WWE's YouTube is AAA Rey de Reyes, a premium live event of sorts taking place for free on YouTube. Not only for WWE's YouTube, but for AAA's YouTube as well. And we have 2 big matches announced for Rey de Reyes. We have Pagano and Psycho Clown defending the AAA World Tag Team Championship against the War Raiders. And we have Dominic Mysterio defending the AAA Mega Championship in a no disqualification match against El Hijo del Vikingo. That's going to be fun. I'm going to keep my eye out for AAA this upcoming Saturday. It's going to be fantastic. I'm excited. And AAA fans are just having fun right now, man. I see AAA fans with what they say online, with what they say in their podcasts. And I see them in the crowd of these AAA shows that I watch on YouTube, right? It's on Saturday night, if you were curious. Every Saturday night, AAA is on WWE's YouTube. Everybody's having fun. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that anyone who's enjoying AAA right now is or watching AAA right now is enjoying it, is having a good time. So take that as a hint, right? Enjoy AAA. If you're not happy with the main roster of WWE, if you're not happy with AEW, if you're not happy with TNA or whatever, watch AAA because they're doing something right. The Mexican crowd of AAA is happy right now, from what I see. And we should probably join them. So I will be joining them this upcoming Saturday for AAA Rey de Reyes on WWE's YouTube, Saturday night. All right, let's get into these two AEW shows this week that will complete the watch list, right? Before we get into AEW Revolution, we have AEW Dynamite. And we have one particularly cool championship match happening on AEW Dynamite, and that is Kyle Fletcher defending the TNT Championship against Mike Bailey, which is a banger of a match. It's going to be a banger of a match. We know these TNT Championship matches deliver. And I'm excited to see Kyle Fletcher versus Mike Bailey for the TNT title deliver. All right. So one of the most important and meaningful championships in the world of wrestling right now, the TNT Championship. And that's awesome to say. I'm so glad they figured out how to book the TNT Championship. It took a while, but they did it. All right, let's preview AEW Revolution, okay? At the time of this recording, 7 days out from the pay-per-view, I have 5 matches of significance to cover here. We have the Don Callis family defending the AEW World Trios Championship against Jet Speed and Mystico, which will be a fantastic trios match. Oh, goodness gracious. Los Angeles is lucky to see this trios match. And then we have, for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, FTR versus the Young Bucks. The greatest tag team match of this generation. Maybe one can argue that it's actually the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 39, night 1. I wouldn't be mad if you said that. All right? But if you weren't going to say that, I don't think there's any other tag team match in this current era of wrestling that's better than FTR versus the Young Bucks. Sorry. Our next match on the AEW Revolution preview is Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the Continental Championship of AEW with no time limit. They've been telling a fantastic story here. We'll see if Konosuke Takeshita is able to win the Continental Championship against Jon Moxley, or if Jon Moxley is able to prevail and continue what has been a super solid reign with the Continental Championship over there at AEW. It's going to be great. All right, 2 more matches here on the preview. We have Tekla versus Chris Statlander in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Yes, sir, sign me up. These 2 women have been doing fantastic work, making the AEW Women's World Championship mean something ever since the title came off of Timeless Toni Storm at the hands of Chris Statlander. I was a little worried with Chris Statlander to see if she would carry that momentum, and she has exceeded the expectation, which is fantastic. And so has Tekla, who has been built well and done her job. This is going to be a fantastic match. It'll probably be the co-main event of AEW Revolution. And then in our main event, we have a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship consisting of MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Oh, brother, here we go. Let's get 2026 started right with the first AEW pay-per-view of the year. Oh, brother. Very exciting stuff, guys. Very exciting stuff. I'm sorry, hot take. If you're not watching AEW Revolution, you're not a wrestling fan. This is going to be fantastic. It's been built too well. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. All right, here we go. Top 20 champions of wrestling. It is time. Of course, honorable mentions go out to the never open weight 6-man tag team champions, Bishamon and Oleg Boltin. We have the Evolve champion, Jackson Drake. The Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, the Elegance brand, Knockouts World Champion Ariana Grace, NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jane, Kazuchika Okada, AEW International Champion, Trey Miguel, TNA International Champion, and Mike Santana, TNA World Champion. That is our honorable mentions list. Didn't quite crack the list, but still doing fantastic work. Okay, let's start with number 20 now. We have the Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer, who is in a high-profile feud against Liv Morgan that is set to take place at WrestleMania, that is set to conclude at WrestleMania. Number 19, we have the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk, who has taken an interesting situation with Seth Rollins getting injured, won the World Heavyweight Championship in a so-so match, but has been defending the title well. Okay? And then we have number 18, the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito, who has been making the Ring of Honor World Championship mean something for almost a year now. He's been doing great work. And we have number 17, Pagano and Psycho Clown, the AAA World Tag Team Champions, who we recently talked about on the watch list. Keep an eye out for them. Number 16, we have the WWE Men's Champion, Cappuccino Jones. Number 15, we have the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship Champion, Claudio Castagnoli. At number 14, we have the Women's Evolve Champion, Kendall Gray. At number 13, we have the Babes of Wrath, the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. At number 12, we have FTR, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, that are bound to have what can possibly be their best tag team match against the Young Bucks at Revolution this upcoming week. And then we have number 11 to close out 20 through 11 being Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, who has... I don't remember the last time she didn't have a spot in the top 20 champions of wrestling list, right? She's that good, and she's been that good for years, quietly and efficiently. Let's get into the top 10 before we get out of here, guys. We have number 10, the AEW National Champion Ricochet. Number 9, we have the United States Champion Carmelo Hayes. Number 8, we have the AEW World Champion MJF. Number 7, we have the AEW Continental Champion Jon Moxley. Yes, he's been that damn good. Number 6, we have the AEW Women's World Champion Tekla, someone else who has also been that damn good in her short reign with the championship. Number 5, we have the WWE Women's Champion Lanie Luck, who's been fantastic. Number 4, we have Red Velvet, the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. Number 3, we have the NXT North American Champion Miles Bourne. Number 2, we have the NXT Champion Joe Hendry. And number 1 in the top 20 champions of wrestling, we have the TNT Champion Kyle Fletcher. Let me reiterate here, because I know what y'all thinking if this is your first time hearing one of my lists on this podcast. How do I say this? This list is built on work rate. What is it built on, everyone? Work rate. This list is based off of who's been lacing the boots and who's been defending their championship. And I do have data that basically outlines how this list is going to turn out. Okay? This list isn't to pat CM Punk on the back. The entire community's doing that right now. This list isn't to pat MJF on the back. The entire community's doing that right now. This list is to look at the data and let the data do its thing. Coming in with subjectivity when necessary, when we get to a stopping point with the data, and as a fan of pro wrestling, determining who takes what spot. This spot is for the Kyle Fletchers. This spot is for Trey Miguel. This spot is for Ricochet. This spot is for the guys that are going overlooked in the world of wrestling right now. Okay? This list of the top 20 champions of wrestling is all about who is lacing up their boots, defending their championship, and making their championship mean something. Whether it's the WWE Men's Champion or the AEW World Champion, it doesn't matter what freaking title you're holding. Are you making it mean something? Are you getting people excited for your matches? Are you doing your championship justice? That is how I determine the top 20 champions of wrestling, with data. So hopefully you enjoy it. All right. It's been a crazy episode. Something must be in the water today. Hope you had a good time listening to me ramble about wrestling. And we will talk again soon. We will have the AEW Revolution review next week and talk about whatever the hell else goes down in the world of wrestling. All right, guys. Peace out. Be good. Be happy. We will talk soon. Peace out.